I still remember the exact morning my quiet ranch life turned into a circus. It started like any other sunrise, me on my porch, coffee steaming, watching the sky go from pink to gold, until I heard an engine roar and saw my prize goat nearly flattened by a mud-caked ATV tearing through my pasture. There she was, Karen, blonde bob whipping in the wind, designer sunglasses perched on her nose, blasting country music so loud my chickens lost their minds and scattered like confetti. She didn't slow down, didn't wave. Just bulldozed through my trail like she owned the place. At first, I wanted to believe it was an honest mistake. Maybe the new neighbor didn't realize the dirt path winding behind her backyard was my private livestock trail, something my dad laid out before I could even walk. So I did what any reasonable rancher would do. I knocked on her door that afternoon, hat in hand, polite as could be. She cracked the door 2 inches like I was selling a cult membership. I introduced myself, explained the trail was private, no motor vehicles allowed, especially not ATVs spinning donuts around my cows. Karen just smirked and said, "That trail does more good for my ATV than for your lazy cows. They can share." Then she slammed the door. I stood there on her porch, mouth open like an idiot, feeling my last drop of neighborly patience evaporate under the Texas sun. That weekend, it escalated. Karen brought friends, 2 more ATVs ripping down my trail like it was a backwoods racetrack. They scared my cattle, busted a feed trough, and snapped a gate post. So I put up a big old sign, "Private property, NO ATVs. Trespassers will be prosecuted." Next morning, the sign was flattened under fresh tire tracks, next to an empty latte cup, and, insult to injury, a fancy pink hair clip sparkling in the dirt. Karen's calling card. That's when it clicked. This wasn't confusion, it was a power move. See, Karen wasn't just a neighbor. She was the self-crowned queen of our HOA, which she ran like a backyard monarchy. Fines for grass an inch too long. Fines for kids' sidewalk chalk. Fines for leaving up Christmas lights past January. Now she decided my ranch was her personal off-road playground. I tried one more time to stay civilized. I called the HOA. I sent a cease and desist with trail cam photos. 2 days later, I got a letter on HOA letterhead, signed by Karen, declaring the trail a shared recreational corridor and telling me to remove dangerous animals from it immediately. My pigs, my cows, my entire livelihood, now labeled a hazard to her ATV joyrides. Something inside me snapped, or maybe woke up. If polite signs didn't work, maybe a little country creativity would. So, late one night, I rerouted the trail, just a hair, barely enough to matter, but now it dipped right through my pig pen. Not just any part, the special zone. The sloppy, stinkiest, muddiest patch of earth this side of the Mississippi. I called it the stank pit. My nephews called it Uncle Max's no man's land. I baited it with melon rinds, watered it down extra wet, and built a few subtle barriers so Karen's ATV would naturally follow the new curve. I left the old signs up because I knew her type, she'd see them and feel clever ignoring them. 2 days later, right on schedule, I heard the engines. Karen in front, leading her loyal sidekick Rick, HOA vice president and proud owner of the world's worst loafers for ranch terrain. They came barreling down, hollering about freedom and private land rights like they were filming a commercial. I sipped my coffee, leaned on my fence, and waited. The squeal that echoed off the barn when Karen's tires hit the stank pit, worth every sleepless night I spent planning it. The ATVs sank axle deep. Pigs, delighted by the surprise snack buffet, trotted over. One of them, Duke, my biggest troublemaker, started headbutting Rick's back tire like it owed him rent. Karen screeched, dropped her phone in the muck trying to film evidence, and realized real fast she was stuck, literally and legally. I didn't lift a finger. I just waved. I wish I could say she learned her lesson. She didn't. 2 days later, she doubled down, bragged online about her epic off-roading adventure, and invited the entire HOA to join her next ride. She posted muddy selfies like a reality TV star, called the trail a community amenity. She even printed pink HOA flags and stuck them on her friends' ATVs like she'd founded a club. Then she left a fresh letter in my mailbox, a violation notice. She fined me, claimed my pigs were a hazard, and my fencing was an unauthorized barrier on a shared trail. I laughed so hard I nearly choked on my coffee. Then I called Deputy Vince, who's been pulling me out of bar fights since high school. Vince read the letter, wiped tears from his eyes, and said, Max, don't sue yet. Give her enough rope. She'll hang herself. So I did. I redesigned the trail one more time. Dug a shallow trench past the clean path, filled it with fertilizer slurry, camo netted it so it looked like solid ground. Added a rustic sign. Karen's VIP lane. Enter at your own risk. Weekend came. Karen didn't disappoint. 7 ATVs this time. Matching HOA Trailblazers t-shirts. GoPro guy. A drone overhead. They roared in, all waving at my trail cams like they were on parade. Then the trench swallowed them. First kid hit it, flipped right over the bars, landed in liquid stink. Karen screeched. Duke, hearing the ruckus, jingled over with his bell collar like a four-legged sheriff. He and the others swarmed the parade, sniffing snacks and bumping tires. Karen tried to rally them. It's just rustic charm. Keep going. Nobody bought it. The drone crashed into a feed bucket. People bailed, squealing louder than the pigs. I strolled over, tipped my hat, pointed to my signs. My fences, my cameras, all recording proof she ignored every warning. Karen, splattered in pig sludge, screamed she'd sue me for sabotage. I told her, real calm, I told you this was private. You wanted a trail? Now you got it. And boy, did the world see it. GoPro footage leaked online. Meme pages had a field day. Duke the pig went viral. Folks slapped his face on stickers, shirts. Even airbrushed him on a truck tailgate. Karen, once HO royalty, was now the punchline of a million pig jokes. But Karen didn't back down. She filed a real lawsuit, malicious endangerment. Emotional trauma, demanded 50 grand in permanent ATV access through my ranch. We met in court. She strutted in all black, with some cheesy TV lawyer named Tad Blitzen. He ranted about weaponized pigs and biological sabotage. My lawyer Hannah barely raised her voice, just laid out trail cam footage, GPS maps, HOA bylaws that stopped at my fence line. The judge, a horse-loving lady named Judge Douglas, deadpanned. So you trespassed onto a ranch, ignored signs, got stuck in pig mud, and now want damages? Ma'am, that's called consequences. Case dismissed. Karen had to pay my legal fees and got slapped with a restraining order banning her from my property for good. By then, even her HOA buddies jumped ship. Neighbors called for her removal. Her fancy flags, t-shirts, drone charges all traced back to HOA funds. A financial audit nailed her for misuse. She quietly vanished. Rumor says she sold her house for a loss and skipped town. Meanwhile, my trail got a new sign. A gift from grateful neighbors. Trail Boss Ranch, carved in oak. Duke's cartoon face right beside it. Now, every morning, I still drink my coffee on the porch. The pigs snooze in the shade, the cows graze in peace, and that trail stays quiet, except for the occasional tourist snapping photos of Duke, the pig who dethroned a self-made queen. Folks, let this be a lesson. Sometimes the best fence is a fat pig, a little patience, and a good lawyer. If Karen rolled her ATV onto your land, would you stand your ground or reroute her into a pigsty like I did? Drop a comment. Tell me how you'd handle it. Smash that like button if you enjoyed Duke's story, and subscribe if you want to hear more real-life ranch revenge. This is Max from Trail Boss Ranch, signing off until the next time someone tries to mess with my fence line.